new corner with new, I guess, handicap ramps. They've always been there, but they put new like rubber studded ones in over at Citizens Bank. Aldo's hardwood floors. I love this color Audi right here. I got my Crocs on. Should we go this way? I'm told this way instead. Sarah Valley, 111, Sarah Valley. Decided to cross over and check out the Christmas trees. I think they have like 10 here at the Walnut Garden. I always say this looks like Trump with his head down. Yeah, anyway, there's that pretty jadestone color Audi. My Crocs are the same color. Pietro's getting in an order maybe. It's hard to tell if this is food or clothing, but anyway. If it's food or, let's see. Never Rest Express. Who knows? They're parked in front of a restaurant, so I'm gonna go with restaurant. Lululemon has a new little winterized gateway. I'm not sure if that'll help with the rings of thievery. It's so well known, it's become like a show, so like every other day the police are sitting here waiting for people to come out after they send rings of people in. In a way it's kind of weird because you're like, well, you think people would catch wind not to go there any longer, but it still goes on, so in a way it feels like a show, kind of. Rittenhouse Square. My mom if she got to have money and we're a little bit more sophisticated or whatever.
As soon as we got in, then I said, oh, I'm gonna make it.
Rouge. A lot of people wonder how people wind up in these buildings. I do too. I'm here by an odd fluke in one of the buildings, but it's they actually say affordable. They use the word luxury and it can seem that way. It's not, it isn't really. Technically there are a lot of students in there, so the building I live in is open to a lot of grad students who get special leases through their school and tuition program. So in a way you would have to live amongst that population, and I can put up with it. You know, I'm in a studio, I'm a single person, but a lot of people wouldn't necessarily want to have to. But in general, it's quiet. Also, I came in during the pandemic, and in a way, property management companies and landlords kind of were hoping people would rent, you know what I mean? They don't want to lose money, they'd rather make money. So you can look at everything that way, even buying a house. Like, a long time ago, I was strapped with all these rules. Like, oh, you're supposed to have this, you're supposed to have that, you're supposed to have this. Come to find out, there's tons of programs. So there's tons of programs out there for people who live a real life and experience the trials and tribulations that come along with it. People can be totally awesome people, and maybe their employer folds up and closes. I worked for a publishing company that kept folding up different magazines. They called them books, but so different publications would have to fold and that department would close down. And I was like, that would stink if like your department closes down. For some reason I felt safe and I didn't feel like our magazine would close down. I think our editor was kind of reassuring, and he would say like the magazines we work on are they're big money makers. It was Promotional Marketing Magazine, and another one called Business Forms, Labels and Systems. We talked to people who dealt with printing presses and, you know, the transference or transition between old forms that people used to use in the digital age, when now people do a lot online as opposed to using old forms. But there are still people who use old forms. So here comes a big airplane on the incline. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. I can't see it through the viewfinder, but in person it's really low. Again, you can kind of see it. So anyway, but can you imagine, like, you're highly skilled, you have a great education, you did all the things you were supposed to do in life, right? Because we were preached, my generation was, you have to go to school in order to get a better job, and this, that, and the other. And I guess it's still the case on some level. Here's a Sharpie pen here, which can be used as an anchor. I'll talk about anchors another time. But it could be a trigger for people. If they were to see a Sharpie pen, it could remind them of a stalker who left one on a windshield at, you know, sometime in the middle of the night, parked in your mom and aunt's driveway. You know? Or if you have one on your floor right now, you would wonder if people could see into your apartment. Yesterday, yesterday there were a whole bunch of PECO vans on this street. I walked a dog and saw the PECO vans. I decided not to show the PECO vans on a video, or trucks. I decided to go in the other direction. It was sunny, so a couple things sent me in the other direction. One, I didn't want to have to deal with the shadows that, you know, show up on the video camera. And two, I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but it was too much of a show. So it's almost like a setup, you know what I mean? To have people come by, someone like myself who would be doing a YouTube channel and so forth and so on. And I didn't want to fall prey to that trap, if you will, if it were a trap. I don't know if it was, but I was advised, like, go the other way, don't even bother. Anyway, they had tons of PECO vans all lined up here, and it was quite a spectacle to see, because they were big vans, and they could be used to make people wonder what's going on. They could be used to set up a new targeted individual, dare I say, because that's what happened in my case. They had tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of satellite vans, PECO, Verizon, all over the place. Even vans that look like CIA-ish or whatever, all up and down 19th Street where I'd moved. And of course, this was in the weeks leading up to the 4th Monday of January 2011, when I was made to believe I'd be murdered in my apartment. So all of that, and there were still vans in place. We wound up having blizzards that year. It was a crazy weather year on top of everything else. So I'm coming up here on Panama, getting a look-see. I usually walk the dogs here and the other direction, but they've been working on this house sort of on the corner.